So tonight, again, Book Creator for admins. What are we going to do tonight? So we're going to talk a little bit about where admins will go to get to the admin console. We're going to talk about what you will see in the admin console and how you would assign teachers and deal with all of the other little things that are inside of that admin console. And then we're going to take a little bit of time to kind of go over that teacher dashboard, some sample books, the certification program, and professional development. And then after that, if we have any time, I'll make sure that I show a little bit of our new features in Book Creator and answer any questions that you may have. So speaking of questions, if you do have questions, there is a Q&A box. Please make sure that you put those questions into the Q&A box, and I'll be sure to see them and I'll be able to answer those questions there. If you have any like aha moments or just general things that you're excited about, you can put that into the chat window, and then I'll make sure to take a look at the chat window as well and see all of those comments. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started and talk about the admin console. So the first place that you will be able to go, and I will put this link into the chat, is admin.bookcreator.com. Now, again, this link will only work if you have purchased a school or district-wide account with us, and then you will, or somebody in your district, has access to this admin console. So if you go there right now and you try to sign in with your email or credentials, if you have not made a purchase with us, this will not work. So I'm going to go through and show you what the site looks like, but this is where you would go if you are an admin. Now, this is totally different than the site that you would go to make books, which is app.bookcreator.com. Every once in a while, I will see an admin that thinks that the admin console access gives you access to Book Creator, and it actually does not. So you would still have to create yourself a license within your account and then go to app.bookcreator.com in order to build those books. All right, so you're going to go to admin.bookcreator.com, which I'll show you here in just a second. You're going to sign in, and then we're going to talk about all of the different things that you'll be able to see in that console. Okay, so after I go to admin.bookcreator.com and I sign in, this is what you will see as an admin. Now, if you are an admin of multiple buildings that each have their own account, or multiple districts or something like that, you might see a drop down here that makes you choose which school you're talking about. But in this case, I'll show you what this one looks like from our end. All right, so the very first thing that you're going to notice is this home tab over here to the left, and you'll see your account appear at the left as well. But under the home tab, you'll notice that you will see your school district name or your school building name right here, your organization. Again, if you're in charge of multiple organizations, you can click switch, and then you can choose the other organizations that you might be part of. And then underneath that, you will see the licenses that you have purchased. Over here on the right is the total number of licenses purchased. Over here is the number available. So any of the licenses that you have remaining that you can give to your teachers. Or over here, you have the number that is assigned. So these are actually the number of licenses that have been assigned to your teachers. And again, if you purchase licenses from your district or for your district or for a school, this is how we would set this up. We would take the number of licenses you have, enter them into the console, and then give somebody access as an admin. And then you have the ability to distribute those licenses to your teachers. Now, what's really nice here, and we'll talk about this on the next tab, is once you assign those licenses to your teachers, as long as the emails match in your account and the email that the teacher has, then they automatically get upgraded. So if a teacher signs in with a school email, tries the free version, logs in again after you update the admin console, they're automatically updated and they do not lose any of that information, any of the books and libraries that they've created. All right, so the next tab over is the teacher tab. And when you click on the teacher tab, obviously I have some accounts that are already in here. But what you're going to do is you're going to click the button up here to the top right that says import teachers, or you can export as a CSV. Now, right now we're just going to import teachers. So I click import, as an admin. And then I go through here and I will either manually or just paste emails in here for those teachers. So if I just put in, John Smith at bookcreator.com, I click next, it gives a little check mark, and then there's a button that says import, right? Or install, right? So that teacher now gets added to your console. So then you start putting in all of these emails and you'll start to see them. Now there's a couple of interesting pieces here. You'll see their email, the teacher's name, did they sign up for an account, which license has been assigned to them, and certification. And so we're going to walk through each one of these separate. So teacher email, a couple things you'll notice here. Most of the names or most of the emails here are blue. There is one that is gray, all right? And so that is an important thing to note. If the email is blue, if there is a name, if it says yes, and you've assigned licenses, all is good, all right? If the name is gray and it says no, then that means that the teacher email you entered does not have a Book Creator account, all right? And if that's the case, they would need to use that same email, go back to app.bookcreator.com, set up their very first account, and then it's going to ask them to be part of that school district. And if they're part of the school district, everything's great. They will automatically be upgraded. All right. Now, in this case, the admin just went through and assigned licenses ahead of time. And even though this teacher doesn't have an account yet, that's okay. When they sign in with that email, they'll automatically be upgraded. All right, the next thing that I have seen every once in a while is if there's a teacher here, there might be an email, but there might not be a name. Okay, there's just a blank space here, or vice versa. There's no email, but there is a name. If that's the case, then more often than not, that is a teacher who signed up as a student accidentally. So when you go to app.bookcreator.com, teachers must sign in as teachers. You don't want to sign up as a student because that's never going to help, right? And if you're a student, you must sign up as a student. You never want to be a teacher because that violates all of our terms of service and privacy agreements that we have in place. So you don't want to do that. So if you do ever come across anybody in your admin console that has something funky like that, then that could possibly be the case. And more often than not, it's a teacher that accidentally signed in as a student. All they would have to do is log out, log back in as a teacher, everything's fine. If, for example, though, this teacher right here isn't really a teacher, and this teacher is a student, then when I click this box next to their email, I can click this box at the top that says bulk actions, and I can actually switch this person to a student, and that will remove them from the console and switch them to a student account, okay? So that's an important piece to note. Also over here on the right, we do have the certification. So our Book Creator certification program, it is tracked through the email. And so if the teacher who is taking the certification program is part of a school district, then you will see that information right here. And it's kind of nice. It'll either say level 1 is complete or it will say in progress. So as an admin, you can kind of look in here and see how your teachers are doing in the certification program. All right, and then on the far right, there are 3 dots, and if you click those 3 dots, then there are some options here, okay? So you can assign a license. This is very important. So if I go down here where it says where these 2 test accounts are, a lot of times this is the one step that I have found admins missing, all right? So these 2 teachers have created accounts. You can see it says yes. So these are free accounts. They have their emails, they have their names, everything's great. They're added in the console where I can see them here, but the licenses says none. So that means they have not actually been assigned a license. So I have to click the 3 dots, assign license, and then click on the license I want to give. And then that takes a license out of our pile and gives it back to this teacher. Now, you can also, if you choose, you can actually remove a teacher and remove a license. So if for some reason you added somebody to your admin console and they no longer work for the district, or they're not using Book Creator and you want to use it with somebody else, you can remove that license and then remove the teacher from your admin console as well. If you click this welcome email, then it gives you a just kind of a template email that you can use to send out to your teachers, letting them know that they do have Book Creator accounts. You don't have to send them individually. You can click these boxes over here to the left and click bulk actions and send those emails. You can assign those licenses at all from here. But if I send an email, again, it gives you that little uh, sorry, form email template that you can go through here and you can adjust. And inside of this email, it does tell your teachers exactly where to go in order to get that account. So just hit next, and then you click send, right? And everything is fine. So a couple things you can do from there. So again, just remember, assign those licenses to your teachers. Make sure that this doesn't say none, right? For some of those teachers, you want to make sure they have the upgraded version. And everything that you really need to do is all right here on this line. Check the box, click the dots, assign the licenses, send that welcome email. You can request that a teacher does their certification program, remove license, switch to student, and remove the actual teacher if you needed to. Okay, the next section down is the analytics section. And so when you click on the analytics section, some good analytics pop up. I can see that 9 teachers have been assigned and now have accounts. There are 12 students that have joined teacher libraries, and those teachers and students have created 34 libraries and 389 books. Now, some of this data won't actually show up because I don't have any actual active users in this account. But there are some more analytics that you can scroll down and see a little bit better. So you can look at the number of active users. You can look in the last 30 days. You can look by the week, and you can click on the month. And so if you click on any of those, it will show you a nice little graph of how many active users you have had throughout the time period that you choose. And again, most of these were created a while ago, so we don't actually have any active users. But if you scroll down, you can then also look at the time using Book Creator in hours. So we have, this is set up for weekly, but then we have 30 days and monthly. And so again, you just choose that, and you can see by hovering over these graph points, how many hours were spent using Book Creator in your school or district, whoever has the account. If you scroll down even further, you can see the number of books that have been made, which is really great. Obviously, the more books that are being made, the more that people are using Book Creator, so that is a good thing to see. You want to see that graph going up. And then the last one here is books edited, how many books have been edited, and how many books have been read. And then depending on what types of devices your students use, you can actually see sessions by operating system, and you can see logins by provider. So you can see, are your students and teachers logging in through our website? Are they logging in through Clever? Are they logging in through Canvas or Schoology? You can see all of those logins right there. All right, then as an admin, under this resources tab, there are a couple of really cool things that you can do here. If you click for admins, it will take you to a specific page on our support site, giving you step-by-step directions on all of the different aspects of being an admin on your account. So I definitely want you to take a look at the, resources tab there for the admin dashboard. And then there's also a resources tab for teachers. So if you have teachers who are coming to you as an admin and saying, I don't understand how to use Book Creator, or do you have any ideas for how I can use Book Creator in my classroom, this is a great place to go. We have resources by grade, and if you scroll down, we have resources by subject. So you can click through there, look at all these amazing books and resources, links to webinars, things like that, where you can send those off to your teachers. Underneath that, there is a setting icon. So if you are an admin on your account, you can get an LMS integration. So we have an LTI integration with Canvas and Schoology. So you can click on that and get that information. And there's also a section here for admins. So if you click on admins, you as the admin can assign other people to have that role as well. So I see this more often if a school district buys a purchase, then they will make admins for each building, right? And each building has their own separate admin who is then able to go in, look at the analytics, add teachers, things like that. So, all right. So that is a little bit of the admin console. And again, you do get access to that admin console if you have purchased for the school or for a district. All right, now the next thing I do want to talk about, sometimes as admins, you're the only place in Book Creator that you focus is that admin console, and you don't actually see any of the other things that go on behind the scenes from a teacher standpoint. So I'm going to show you a little bit about the teacher standpoint. Now, I do want to pull up our other site here for a second. So this is the site that you would go to if you wanted to create books. So if you go to app.bookcreator.com, this is what the login site will look like. And the reason I want to bring this up, especially now, is because we've had recently in the last few days an increase in students who are signing in as teachers. And again, we do not want that. The only way students should and can make books is by signing in as a student, signing in with Google account, and then joining a teacher library. We do not want teacher or students signing in as teachers. This violates our terms of service, and it does violate the privacy policies of almost every single district that we have been in contact with. So you definitely do not want this. Please encourage your teachers not to tell students to sign in as teachers. It's a bad thing, and we've been reaching out to many districts right now, specifically because the students, when they sign in as teachers, have access to our chat window. And so some students are signing in as teachers, and then they are sending abusive chat messages or nonsense through our chat window. And again, not something that you want your students to be doing. So you definitely want to make sure that your students are students and your teachers are teachers. All right. So again, click for teacher, click for student, and make sure that you sign in as the appropriate one. All right, so let's take a look at the teacher dashboard and all of the really good stuff that is in the teacher dashboard. So when your teachers log into Book Creator and they click these three black lines at the top left, this is the teacher dashboard. And so here you can see all of your books and libraries that have been made. One of the most frequent, I guess, support tickets we get is about this library right here. So if somebody in your district comes to you about this library, now you'll know. This library that says My Books is private and it has a lock on it. That means that teachers cannot invite students to this library. They cannot collaborate on books. This is just a rough draft library for the teachers. So if you do have teachers, like I said, come to you and say, I can't collaborate, I don't know where the invite student button is, that's why. They're in the wrong library. All right, so again, this is where all your libraries and books will live. Then at the top, we have our Discover tab. Now, this is very similar to the resources section that we showed you in the admin console, but your teachers do have access to this Discover tab. And in this Discover tab, there are tons of book samples written by teachers, students, Book Creator ambassadors, and some books that we've even written as a company as templates. So you'll definitely want to have your teachers take a look through this. This is a great place for ideas. It's a great place for inspiration. I highly recommend it. We do have books sorted by grade level. So you can click on the individual grades and you can see sample books for those areas. And again, don't forget the little white arrows over here on the side. If you click the arrows, you can get even more samples, right? This is important. We have more lessons down here by our Book Creator ambassadors. So again, we have books here on just about every subject you can think of, from differentiated learning to formative assessment, high school, social emotional learning, digital citizenship, and if you click that arrow, even more, math and science and social studies, language arts, supporting language learners, embedding content. There are tons and tons of great books in here. And then we also have books by subject area. So if you're an admin and you have somebody come to you and say, look, Book Creator looks awesome, but I don't know how to use it in the creative arts class, or I don't know how to use it in PE, then you can click on any of these libraries. And what it will do is it will bring up a library filled with sample books for that specific area. Oops, and where'd it go? There it is. Right, so now I can see all of these wonderful examples based on the actual subject area. Okay, so absolutely love this Discover tab. I think it's a great place, again, for teachers to go. The next tab over is awesome as well. That is the Learn tab. So one of the things that I have seen a lot of in the last 9 months is difficulty trying to find time, right, for professional development, trying to get teachers excited about Book Creator, things like that, trying to find that time to share Book Creator. Sometimes schools are inviting me to come in and do a webinar, and sometimes they just, again, don't have time for that. So one of the things that I highly encourage districts to kind of push and share with their students, or I'm sorry, with their teachers, is this Teacher Dashboard Learn tab. And so there are support documents here on just about every aspect of Book Creator. And then if you go underneath that, there is a section that says Become a Book Creator Certified Author. And what's really cool here is when you click this button, a new tab appears at the top that says Certification. And now your teachers have access to 14 videos ranging from about a minute and a half to about 8 minutes, followed by a quiz. So if your teachers watch all the videos, pass the quiz, then they become a Book Creator Certified Author. And they get this cool badge that they can then download, put in their email signature, send out on social media. But more importantly, your teachers will have a deep, deep understanding of Book Creator and how they're going to use that with their classrooms. So some schools are using this as a way to do professional development with their teachers and encourage them to do this on their own time. Some are using it for license renewal hours, tech PD hours, things like that. But again, I promise that when your teachers are done with this, they will have a deep understanding of Book Creator. I do get this question frequently. Is there a certification program for students? And the answer to that is no. But what I have seen, especially during remote learning, is teachers who will show these videos over a Zoom call to their students, and then the teacher makes their own little certificate and hands it out to the kids. So none of the videos are inappropriate for kids. I think that the students will certainly learn from this if they were watching the videos. All right, so that is a certification program. So again, highly encourage your teachers to take a look at that. All right, let's get back into the book here and let's talk about our next section. We talked about the sample books, talked about certification. The next thing that I wanted to talk about as we wrap up our evening here is, again, this is short, about a 30-minute or so session. Some of the new features in Book Creator. And actually, before I go into new features, I will show you that in the teacher dashboard, there is a little button here that says what's new. And if you click on that, it will actually take you to our website and give you a timeline of all of the new improvements and things that we've put into Book Creator going back all the way to 2017 when Book Creator for Chrome actually went live. So you can see all of the updates that have happened here. All right, but let's talk about a couple of the more important ones, or the newest ones, I guess I should say. Not that they're any more important or less important than the other ones. Let's talk about some of the new ones. All right, so the very first new feature is under the plus button. And whoops, if you click the plus button and shapes. So we have a whole bunch more shapes here. It used to be only 9 shapes. Now we have 24. But what's cool about the shapes is that you click on it, add it to your page, but now we also have the ability to rotate. So not only do we have more shapes, we do have the ability to rotate shapes, which is not something that we had. So that's a really cool improvement. But more importantly, in the shapes section, there is a search bar here now. So one of our newest features is that we actually have a partnership with the Noun Project. And so if you're familiar with the Noun Project, they have somewhere in the neighborhood of like 2 or 3 million icons that you can use for presentations and books and things like that. And so with our paid plans, you now have access to the Noun Project. So I could put something in here like, gosh, I don't know, lettuce. Let's see if that pops up. So click in lettuce, and then all these different lettuce icons pop up. I choose the one that I want. We'll go with this one. Click on it, and it now adds that icon to your page. So from here, I can click and drag, move it around, rotate it, and I can even click the inspector and change the color, right? So now we've got our nice piece of lettuce in there, head of lettuce. All right, so again, that Noun Project, 2 to 3 million icons that are all now included as part of the paid plans, all right? Some other new features, I'm gonna go back in here and just add another shape real quick. if I just add a shape to the page. One of our other cool features that we have is if you click the inspector and color, I can click the plus button and now I can make my own color, right? So instead of choosing a color that was already there, I now have this little custom color section, right? So I can click and drag and move the colors around to whatever I want. But what's really cool here is that we did now add the ability for that hex code. So if you find a hex code from somewhere, like if you go to a paint website or something, and you find a specific color, you can now click and copy that code or paste that code right in there, hit apply, and now that code is exactly the color that you want. So this is really awesome for some people, and actually I should have had it memorized somewhere, but there is actually a code for Book Creator Blue. And so if I put that hex code in there, I can now get my box to be Book Creator Blue or Sherwin-Williams Burnt Orange or whatever the case may be, right? So there's a lot of really cool applications with that hex code. Giovanna tested that feature in this book right here. So Giovanna has put a link into the chat window. So thank you. If you want to take a look at Giovanna's book, you can certainly take a look at that and see how the hex code was used in that book. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Also, one of our newer features here, if you go to text and just add some text, John Smith, click done, and then click the inspector, we now have 12 new fonts that we've included. Now, one of my favorites is Open Dyslexic, but we have added some new ones like Alpha Slab. I'm trying to think what some of the other ones were. Railway might have been a new one. We've got some different handwriting ones, Pacifico, a lot of different new fonts that are in there. And if you go to that tab that said what's new in Book Creator, this is definitely one that will show you that. So if I click on the 12 new fonts, you can see the article here that talks about the 12 new fonts that we've added into Book Creator. All right, very cool. And then the last thing that I wanted to share this evening is that we do offer a wide range of professional development opportunities. And so if I open this book in a new window here, I will then get the link for that. I'm going to paste that right here into the chat window. And this link, again, takes you to our professional development PD menu handbook. And it talks about all of the different things that we have done webinar-wise or working with schools. So we have our table of contents with all these really awesome options for webinars and trainings. And you can definitely take a look through this and see what we have to offer. But professional development is included with those plans that districts have purchased. So if you are a district that has purchased and you haven't taken us up on that PD offer yet, we're always happy to do a webinar with your teachers to talk about Book Creator. Maybe it's something you can look at as well if you're interested in having Book Creator in your school in the future. Some of the webinars that we can offer and to your teachers. Okay. So at this point, I will take some questions and answer time. So if you have any questions, please put those into the chat window or into the Q&A box, and I'll be more than happy to answer those questions. If you don't have any questions, I just want to say thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Be safe out there. Happy bookmaking, and hope to see you on one of our next webinars. All right, so thanks everybody for being here tonight. I'll stick around for a couple minutes to answer questions. But other than that, have a good evening. All right. Thank you, Giovanna. All right. Thank you, Carmen.